On International Women's Day, women take center stage. An award-winning kickboxer takes up an ancient martial art. It was a long road getting there, but success tasted really good. And she's one on her own, New Zealand's female farm managing winner. Hello and welcome to Asia Down Under. March 8th is International Women's Day, a day to celebrate the social, economic and political achievements of women around the world. Women have always played a significant role in New Zealand's history, and for many Asian women, it's a role that's gathering pace. But there are still problems. Ling Ling Liang reports.
International Women's Day was born almost 100 years ago, as industrialization caused more and more women to join the labor force. More than 30 years after, an international breakthrough was made when the Charter of the United Nations was signed in 1945. It was the first international agreement to proclaim gender equality globally for women in both developed and developing countries. New Zealand has much to boast in this respect, having achieved women's suffrage much earlier in 1893. After more than a century and countless changes, equal rights have become the standard rather than the exception for New Zealand women, regardless of status or ethnicity.
What's happening is as the community gets more settled, Asian communities, women in those communities are gaining the confidence to develop services that they need, access the support that they need, advocate for themselves and their health and social support needs, but also develop all kinds of initiatives to support themselves and members of their communities. So I think it's a really exciting time for Asian women in New Zealand.
This year's United Nations theme for Women's Day is Men and Women United to End the Violence Against Women and Girls. Violent behavior in the home or workplace remains an issue, particularly for new migrant women who often have no friends or family to turn to.
So far, from January 2008 till now, we received 19 family violence-related cases. Yeah, that's not a small number, you know, yeah. And actually, most of them actually are due to the settlement crisis.
Yuan left China in 2004 to live in New Zealand with her husband. It was a joyful reunion, but a short one. Just 1 year after she arrived, having enjoyed the birth of her second baby, she discovered that her husband had an affair.
In that time, my daughter only 2 years old, and I heard a message from another woman passed to my husband. Then I check it. Then I ask my husband about it. He kept the mobile phone. 3 weeks later, then he closed all accounts, so I don't have any cent of New Zealand dollars.
Some women come to us and they've never been physically harmed, but they've been harmed so severely by psychological behaviour, like mind games and threats, intimidation, all sorts of things, that they're emotionally run down.
Throughout the years of abuse, Yuan, jobless and afraid for the children, stayed in the relationship.
For Chinese women, a harmony family is very important for them, and they actually regard it seriously important for the completion of their family. So actually, they don't want to separate from the husband or the children. They want to keep their family complete.
It's not okay that in this country the police respond to a family violence incident every 7.5 minutes.
That every year an average of 14 New Zealand women,
6 men
and 10 children are killed by a member of their own family.
Family violence as a crime, it's usually attached to fear or threats and that's the big difference. It's not acceptable in the New Zealand community. The police have quite strong direction on treating this as a crime. It is a crime.
Yuan had gathered enough strength to finally ask for help, but she only wishes she had done it sooner.
So I want to say to the other women, brave and struggle is important for them, and tell to the others can help you, looking for the department to help you. It's very good for you and your family and your members and your children.
Now Yuan is building a new life with her children. She hopes to become a qualified school teacher in a few years' time. The global theme for this year's International Women's Day urges both men and women to unite to end the violence, and everyone is encouraged to play their part within and outside of their communities.
It's not okay to blame the drink.
Or use your culture as an excuse for what you know is wrong.
There's a lot of support from men in ethnic communities saying, actually, we don't believe this is cultural. We think this is unacceptable, and we don't want our women to be experiencing bad treatment from men in our community. So I'm very, very excited that there's a lot of community awareness about domestic violence and the impact it has on families.
If you or anyone you know has become a victim of domestic violence or abuse, please seek help now. There are many groups that can help.